Hi, everybody. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm looking forward to guiding you today through your core and stretch workout. We got a couple minutes before we get started. We'll start at 11:15. But if you're here now, go ahead, set yourself up with your mat, or just clear some space for yourself. You don't need any props for today, but I encourage you during these opening couple of minutes. Just give yourself any sort of stretch that feels right for you. If you can get up away from your desk a couple minutes early, do it. Or take your time, leisurely set your space up, bribe your pets. I scared the holy moly out of Fred earlier this morning, and she's now hiding at the back of her cage. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I scared you before. I still love you a lot. We are really working on our friendship, and I think it's coming a long way. 2022 is going to be the year that I get my bird out, and maybe I can introduce her to you guys closer to the camera. Maybe that's more exciting to me than it is to you. But we've made some real progress, me and the bird, and I hope that you feel like you've made some real progress too, just working out with us from the comfort of home or wherever it is that you happen to tune in to any of our streaming classes. All right, so we got 2 minutes till we get started. Look at Uncle Buck. He is ready. I love that about him. We're going to get started on our mat in a kneeling position. Getting all my timers in place. I got some water nearby, and I hope that you do as well. And I'm just going to take this time to move around a little bit because I've been sitting in that chair for a little while. Starting to slow the breath down and clear your mind from whatever it was that you were just working on, whether it was awesome, whether it was stressful. Before we get started, I'm going to take a sip of the beverage of my choice, which this morning is coffee. Sorry, I slurped that like soup. A little water chaser. Great. All right, so it's just about time to begin. So making your way down to your mat. Hello, Uncle Buck. Are you going to hang out with us during class? Uncle Buck's been mildly into my workouts this week. So encouraging as we end the year. Ooh, all right, making that way down to kneeling. If fully kneeling is uncomfortable for you, maybe standing up on top of your knees gives a little bit less pressure. I'm just starting off with a couple relaxing shoulder rolls. You can even separate into my favorite, the sexy shoulder roll, which the goal isn't really being sexy, at least not right this moment. I just feel this stretch a lot more down the side and back of the body when I do one arm at a time versus doing both at the same time. Go ahead, change direction of those shoulder rolls. Awesome. And we're going to get started from right here with just a couple. That was quipple was my way of combining quick and couple. We're making up words. We're amazing. A couple times through of sun salutation A. We did a modified version of this during the exercise Tabata on Tuesday, just sitting in our chair. So we're going to get a little bit more range of motion today where we can put our hands on the floor and move our bodies a little bit more. So if you can make your way back to this kneeling position, make sure that there's some space for you at the top of your mat. I'm truly in the middle. Gonna bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your elbows down heavy towards the floor. Keep that chin neutral towards your chest. So as long and straight and proud of a line as you can create, stretching the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Relax here. On our inhale, we're going to press ourselves up to our knees. Stretch your hands, palms up towards the ceiling. Look up towards your hands, palms. Maybe even look back just a little bit. And then on the exhale, hands, palms come down to the floor. Excuse me, Uncle Buck. Send your glutes back towards your heels, taking a moment in extended child's pose. We're going to keep our hands a little forward. You can always bring them in if you want to as you press yourself up through tabletop, coming right into cat pose. Then we're going to exhale as you tuck your toes under, send hips up towards the ceiling. Taking a moment as your belly comes towards your thighs, you really press into those hands, palms like you're pushing the floor away in down dog. From here, we're going to come right back through onto our knees, taking a moment in cat. So untuck your toes. Exhale, send your hips back towards your heels. Find yourself in that extended child's pose. Inhale, we're going to press all the way up to that upright kneeling, hands, palms come up towards the ceiling. You can find that gentle backward bend. And then exhale, sit your glutes down closer towards your heels, hands come towards heart, finding yourself in Namaskar. Take a moment, breathe through it right here, just a couple super relaxed breaths. We'll go through. Let's do 2 more times for a total of 3 times through this sun salutation. A nice total body warm up. You're going to go at your own pace with your breath. If you need to take some extra breaths, if you want to hold for an extra moment in that extended child's pose, your cat or your down dog, do what feels right for your body today. This is your practice, and practice makes practice. All right, so starting kneeling, elbows heavy towards the floor, core is pulled in for some bracing. We're going to inhale, press up onto our knees, stretch your fingertips up towards the ceiling, maybe gently towards the wall behind you. Exhale, hands, palms rain down towards the floor. Glutes start going back towards heels for an extended child's pose or more of a puppy pose. Then inhale, bring yourself up. Find your cat. Exhale, toes tuck under, hips come up towards the ceiling. Down dog. Inhale, gently make your way back to cat. Exhale, walk those hands forward, send hips back for your extended child's pose. Inhale, lift yourself up, press into those knees, use your core for your extended mountain. And then exhale, back into kneeling. One more time through, inhale up. Exhale, rain those fingers down. Keeping that breath as slow as you can. Inhale to cat. Tuck your toes. Exhale to down dog. Inhale to cat. Exhale to your extended child's pose. Inhale up to your mountain. Exhale down to kneeling. Hang out here for just a couple breaths, giving time for anyone who might be moving a little bit slower. And if you moved a little bit faster, maybe you started a 4th set, and that is okay too. We'll just wait here for you with our breath, setting an intention for today, both with this short little practice and also maybe just with your day. So working to find something positive, to really truly find your breath, and if nothing else, enjoying these deep breaths throughout the day. All right, where did I put the write-up for class? I left it at the desk. So I'm going to go get it while you're enjoying your breath and just see which of these 2 exercises I decided we should start with. Okay, so let me explain to you how our little sandwich sets are going to work today. We got to move. It's a combo move that we're going to start out with. Feel free to give yourself any stretches right now that you want to before we actually begin. We're going to start in tabletop with the first move. It's a combo move, as I said, and then we're going to break it down to the two individual moves that make up the combo move. And then we'll do the combo move one more time. So it's a total of 4 exercises that we'll do. You got a quick little break, and then we're going to do those 4, not 40 exercises. Again, each one is only 30 seconds. So 30 seconds of work. So 2 minutes of work, followed by a 30-second break, and then another 2 minutes of work. And then we're done with those moves for today. Got 2 different sandwich sets coming up, and between them, we're going to do some planks. All right, let's take a moment actually before we get started to give yourself a little wrist warm up. So making some circles with your wrist, first in one direction, and then the other direction. Go ahead, stretch through your forearm, press one hand palm forward, stretch your fingers back towards your face, and then point those fingers down towards the floor, pressing through the back of your wrist. Switch to the other hand. And then hands, palms on the floor. Bring your shoulders forward of your fingertips. And then back into tabletop. Forward of your fingertips. So just getting a little bit of a deeper stretch than you might have been able to feel while you were actively pulling your fingers back from the pressure of your hands, palms into the floor. Now go ahead, flip your hands over. Back of the hands on the floor. Fingers are facing towards your knees. And this time, exhaling, bringing glutes closer towards heels. And then inhaling up. I like this stretch a lot more from tabletop if you're looking for and ready for that deeper option. But if that's too much for you, you can always just do another quick little round of the same stretches for the wrist, forearm, etc. Shake it out one more time. All right. So we're going to start off with a bird dog with a crunch. So a little balance is coming into play here. So extending one arm forward, opposite leg back. I have my toe pointed. I know you can't see it. It's hidden behind the couch. Then you're going to bring it in for a crunch underneath of your body, extend, and then alternate. So extend into your bird dog, crunch, extend, alternate. Move number 2, we got 5 seconds to get there. We're going to come into some mountain climbers. So you can keep these mountain climbers as slow or as fast as you want. You can think about getting a little bit of cross body action. And then move number 3, we're going to do just a bird dog. If you want a little bit more variety though, and you've got the space, you're welcome to lay down on the floor. I'm spatially limited, and extend your hands in front of you and come into a swimming Superman if you want to challenge that back a little bit more than just the bird dog would. So then we're going to do one more bird dog crunch and then a second round. All right, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Begin. So starting off with that bird dog crunch. So really extending, my thumb is pointing up. I'm stretching through my toe, crunching underneath, extend and down. Extend, crunch. Feel that squeeze of the glute when you're really reaching from your fingers and your toes like you're trying to touch the opposite walls. Your eye gaze is down towards the floor, gently forward of your fingers. So make sure you're not tucking your chin towards your chest in your plank. All right, next up, we got those mountain climbers. Begin. I'm going to keep my climbers nice and slow, driving that knee up towards elbow in a great little plank. And if you need to, if that's too much for you, you can come down into tabletop and work right here from tabletop to bring your knee towards your tricep if you can. Aim a little higher than that elbow. Get a little bit more ab work into the party, especially if you're taking that hold. You'll really activate your core. All right, 5 seconds to relax. Next up, you have either just a bird dog, or remember, you could come down to the floor and get your Superman. If you want, with your bird dog, extend and then get that extra little squeeze so you feel like maybe you're doing a little bit more work than you did or than you might have with just a bird dog. So plenty of options. I'm taking that extension and then using that exhale to squeeze the glutes, challenge the shoulders for that little extra lift and squeeze. Awesome. 5 seconds to just rest. And then we got our bird dog crunch one more time. Go for it. So extend, crunch, extend, down. You're going to move a little bit faster through this time, but remember, form is the most important. So if you find you're really wiggling or wobbling, you move just a little bit slower. One thing I am focusing on is keeping my chest and hips as squared to the floor as possible, so not rocking too much side to side. Ooh, all right, we got our first little break. I'm going to turn around, see what the bird is up to. She's going ham on a box right now. All right, so maybe give yourself a couple cat-cows right here. Yeah, Fred is exactly like your children that you probably bought them some like fancy toy as a child and they were more interested in the box. I think of buying toys for her like you get 2 for 1. You get the toy, start that bird dog crunch, and you get the box. Great. And sometimes the box lasts longer than the toy to chew through. I've also thought about just crumpling actual dollar bills and throwing them into her cage because it might be a savings versus the cost of toys for the bird. Awesome. Are you still using that exhale to help you get this crunch? We got that mountain climber in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So see if you can come up into that plank and draw one leg at a time. Even if you need to take a second, bring those knees down towards the ground. Maybe you even challenge yourself, instead of being in tabletop, to be a little bit more in this checkpoint if this full plank mountain climber is not for you. But if you want to see change, you got to find the challenge. You got to be a little uncomfortable. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So hopefully 1 minute total of mountain climbers was a challenge you brought on. We got those just bird dogs or your Superman swims. I'm a little limited in space, but I promise you, I'm doing those Superman swims a little bit later. I think they are a great option at home to really challenge yourself and work that back. 3, 2, 1. We got one more time to put it all together. The bird dog crunch. Begin. Now, gonna be real with y'all. We are starting with the easier little sandwich set of exercises today. You can sort of think about this as a little bit more of a warm-up because hopefully you're feeling a little bit more warm. I know I am. Part of the reason is because I'm right over here by the heater. That's okay. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Shake it out. All right. Next up, we're going to do a quick little set of planks. It's super fast, I promise. And it's over in 2 minutes. We're going to get 45 seconds of work and then bring ourselves 15 seconds of rest. So give yourself a couple nice big shoulder rolls right here. In fact, let's take a big stretch of our shoulders before we come into our planks. So find yourself back in tabletop. Take a big inhale. Press into your hands, palms, activate that back, activate your core. Keep one hand on the floor, your choice switch. We're going to inhale the other arm up towards the ceiling. Bring your eyes to follow your hands. And as you exhale, thread the needle right here. Walk that shoulder towards the floor and then walk your opposite hand palm all the way forward. Maybe you can even sink your glutes a little closer towards your heels, finding some length, some release in that low back. Take 2 breaths. All right, walk your hand back in, press into it, lift yourself up, stretch that hand all the way to the ceiling, look at it, and then exhale, bring it down towards the floor. Switch to the other side, inhale, opposite hand up towards the ceiling, look up towards that hand, exhale, Go ahead, thread the needle. Bring your shoulder down towards the floor, bring your temple towards the mat, and walk your hand palm forward. Relax and release into it. Maybe you bring your chest a little closer towards the floor, heel a little closer towards your glutes. Take 2 breaths here. And then go ahead, walk that hand back in, push into it, press yourself up into tabletop, inhale your arm up towards the ceiling, exhale, hand down towards the floor. All right, we got 2 moves for our little plank section. The first is going to be a saw. So bringing your forearms towards the mat, you can have your hands on the floor. I like to interlace my hands together and press those pinky knuckles in towards the floor. From there, you're going to extend those legs out behind you. And you're going to shift yourself forward so your nose is coming towards your knuckles. And then you're going to shift yourself back so that your shoulders are back on top of your elbows. So just pressing through those toes, getting a little work into those calves. And if you need to, you can do the same thing just from your knees, just working to bring it forward and then pressing back up onto those knees slightly. That's going to be move number 1. Move number 2, we're going to come into our straight arm plank. Oh my gosh. Step those legs back into plank, step those knees into bear, keeping those knees as close as you can, and then either stepping or jumping. I'll be stepping back into plank again. So 45 seconds of work, a little bit longer challenge this time, but then 15 whole seconds of rest. Starts with that saw, whichever version you're doing, on your knees or on your toes, in 3, 2, 1, begin. So forearms down the mat, pressing those legs back. Work to get those hips as much in line with your glutes as possible. Otherwise, you can always work towards this little dolphin push-up if you're having trouble getting this forward back motion with your saw. So otherwise, you're pressing your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you do a little combo, because I think that's actually pretty fun. Opening your feet a little bit wider in these planks is going to help you find that nice stable base. You've got 10 seconds left from right here. So work to get the glutes down after, especially if you're doing that dolphin. Awesome. Take a break. Ooh, shake it out. 10 seconds before we do our quick little bear to plank. Bring your hands to the floor. 3, 2, 1. So worst case scenario, you're just hovering in bear, or maybe you're just hovering in that plank. The closer that you get your knees towards the floor, the more challenging bear is going to be. If your knees are all the way up towards the ceiling, there's a lot less work happening. You're doing amazing. You've got just a couple seconds left. I hope you're breathing. I know you can hear me breathing. I'm doing that work for 3, 2, 1. Yay. Bring your knees to the floor. Send your hips back towards your heels. Take a moment in child's pose. Slow down your exhale. Bring that heart rate back down. Well, if you want, you can even take a little gentle little wiggle side to side. Maybe a little stretch of one side of your fingers towards the top of the mat. And then the other side. And go ahead, bring it all the way forward. Come into alligator. So bring your belly towards the floor. Make a beautiful pillow with your hands palms. Place your forehead on that pillow. Bend your knees and windshield wipe your feet. Relieve any tension that came into your low back. And then we're going to roll over onto our backs. For our next set. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so next up, we've got a little suitcase crunch, and then we're bringing it old school as we break it down. All right, so move number 1 is going to be a suitcase crunch. So extending your arms, extending your legs, and then working to bring them all together. Now you can lift yourself up as much as feels right for your abs today. No pain in the neck though. So if you're feeling any pain or discomfort in your neck as you really work to crunch into that suitcase, what a morbid name for a sit up. You can always leave your lower back on the floor. Then we're going to just do the upper body. So I want you to think of this a little bit like an ab rocker. You can bend your knees. It'll make it a little easier with knees bent, but you can totally do this with straight legs as well. Just to lift those shoulders off the mat and then bring those shoulders right back down. So working to decrease that space between your lower ribs basically. And then we're going to bring those legs up into tabletop. And from here, just either kicking one leg out at a time or working to kick both legs out at the same time. If you want, you can even sit yourself up for this next one and work here like a little modified boat pose. That can take a lot of the pressure out of that low back. All right, so we're starting with, pardon me, the suitcase crunch. Each of these moves is just 30 seconds. Let's burn those abs. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. So arms and legs extended, bringing it all in together, and then carefully with control, extending it all back out. Did you like that little snort that I did? I'm challenging myself to not bring my heels to the floor. So there's kind of like a little hollow body hold happening at the end. 3, 2, 1. Yes, you did catch me looking at the timer. All right, so remember, bending those knees will help you to keep your lower back on the floor. Here we go, we're just ab rocking it. For those of you who were too young to have an ab rocker, they were pretty useless. Literally, this was the one action that they allowed you to make happen. But, I do appreciate about them that they helped us to stop bringing our hands, palms behind our head and applying pressure there. And the way that you got to kind of open your chest and hold on to this janky metal frame. All right, next up is going to be just the legs. So you can stay down here on the floor or you can lift yourself up and then either both legs extend out or you're doing one at a time. And it's going to be a bit harder if you just do the same thing from down on the floor versus pressing yourself up into your elbows. Unless you're in an actual boat pose without your elbows on the floor. And then that's going to be the hardest of options. Y'all, it is hard to talk when you're doing these. Awesome. Take a second to rest. We got that suitcase crunch coming up one more time. Here we go. Let's call it a cocoon crunch instead. I like that name. Good memories of aliens coming to Earth, looking like people. I think they were here for good stuff, though, from what I recall. People liked them enough that there were multiple versions of the movie Cocoon. Take a break. All right, so we got 30 seconds to rest. Maybe you give yourself a little spine twist. Maybe you're just breathing right here. We'll hear that timer letting us know we have 5 seconds till we get started again. Starting off once more with our cocoon crunch. Laughing is just extra engagement of the abs. Whether you're laughing with me or at me, either sounds great. I'm just glad you came. All right, you ready? We crunch it in 2, 1. Here we go. I was about to say last time through. It is the last time through, but remember, you're going to see this exercise one more time. I've gotten a little tired, and I'm starting to bring those heels towards the floor. Maybe just bringing one heel towards the floor each time. So getting a little extra challenge in that low ab. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was some hard work. All right, so next up we got the ab rocker. I'm going to keep my legs straight this time to just find a slightly different challenge. But remember, you're welcome to bend those knees. especially if you're a beginner, really just working to begin engaging those abs to really find how to use them, those bent legs, pressing the soles of the feet into the floor for a little more grounding and support can really help. Right about now, I'm wishing I bent my knees. Oh my gosh, thank goodness I made it. All right. So next up, we've got those kickouts. Begin. If you need to, placing your hands right below those glutes can make these a little bit easier. Also, the more that you bring your knees in towards your chest, oh, hip flexors, you're so tired, the less pressure that you're especially going to feel at that low back. The more your knees are away from the center line, keeping them away from the center line is going to work those abs just a little bit more. Also, the more you bring your hands away from the center, so there's less balance. All right, great, we made it through. Let's crunch it out last time. Remember, you can always keep that lower back on the floor and just work to lift your shoulders up. Maybe you're just doing one leg at a time. You're taking it breath by breath to just keep going. That's what's important. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, so good. All right, relax your arms down by your side. Go ahead, draw your knees in towards your chest. Really press your lower back, sacrum down towards the mat. Find some relaxation in your chest. So if your elbows are out towards the side, allow your elbows to fall a little closer towards your ribs. A gentle tuck of your chin towards your chest to get a little bit more of the back of your head and neck towards the mat. Awesome. Release the feet down towards the floor. Go ahead, cross one leg over the other. Keep your feet planted. Open that knee. Find that hip flexor stretch to begin with. We didn't do very much with the glutes today. Well, we did find some stretching into those hips. So keeping this wide figure 4, open your arms out to the side and drop your legs over towards the side. So without taking that super deep cross, just finding a slightly different spine twist. You can get your neck involved, turn and look in the opposite direction of those legs. Take 2 big breaths. And then take your time, bring it back to center, uncross, maybe find a little hamstring stretch on the way to uncrossing, and then plant your other foot down. Inhale, opposite leg up towards the ceiling, take that big cross, draw your knee towards the edge of the mat, the wall away from you, feel that opening in your hip, other foot is staying planted, arms wide to the side, drop your legs over towards the side. So I kept my ankle exactly where it was, but I did draw that knee a little closer towards the floor in the opposite direction it was stretching just a moment ago. And I'm getting the neck in the party, looking towards the direction that my legs are not in. Great. One more big breath here. Oh, this is such a great stretch towards the outside of the glute. I'm loving it. And then inhale back through to center. Options to take the stretch for that hamstring, really extending your leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring it down towards the floor. All right, y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. You're welcome to stay down here on the floor and get any extra stretches that you want. Let's carefully make our way back to our feet, starting off in tabletop. Give yourself one more cat, maybe shake through those shoulders or shake through those hips. And one more cow. Tuck your toes under, carefully send your hips up towards the ceiling, and then start to walk your hands to your feet or your feet towards your hands. As you dangle here with the weight shifted into your heels and your belly pressed against your thighs, take a moment to shake your head. Yes, yes, I am glad I came. Shake your head. No, no, I can't believe the 30 minutes is already over. And then slowly roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders come over hips. Inhale, arms all the way to the ceiling. Exhale, relax them down towards the floor. Let's take one more big breath. Ah, feels so good. I hope that you feel the same. Congratulations on getting up, on finding 30 minutes for your physical and mental health. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy holidays.